Let's get this going, crew. Once again, we haven't done this in a little bit, but we're having another coach call, and Iain Lowdean has been an absolute spectacular success on Skillest, but it probably didn't come in the conventional ways. He didn't have a massive social media following, and he sort of ground it out, if I'm going to be completely honest, didn't you, Iain? It was very much a case of waking up and just every day saying, this is what I want from my life, and you started building it. But even before we get into
sure.
that, mate, welcome to the chat. Really good to have you here.
Appreciate it. Thanks. No, looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool because I think, like as I said, you're a success story on the platform, and someone that I think sometimes people think, yeah, I've got to have like 50,000 followers on Instagram or whatever it might be to build a big business. But I mean, give us a little bit of a background on like what you were doing prior to Skillest, and then what does your life look like now?
Yeah, honestly, like it's wild that the things that got like the doors that have opened up have been pretty crazy. So, yeah, I mean, like, we were talking before that, I mean, I was, 7 years as an assistant, 3 years head pro, 70% of all my income came from coaching. And then I was just like, the COVID kind of hit. And I actually applied to get on Skillest and then, got the old rejection. And I was like, oh man, I'll get on eventually.
Well, that was back when we actually prevented people from like now anyone can get on the platform. But when we first started, we did it because like we just wanted to ensure, like we felt a real responsibility to online coaching because we knew that people were skeptical. So we're like, we've just got to get some top coaches and build it from there. So I apologize for that.
Yeah. No. The thing is, it actually made me want it even more though, because because I was just like, man, I've got to get on this platform. So then I was just like, in a way, I was like, I need to build up my profile somehow, or I just reapply later on. And then because everyone kept saying, oh, you've got to access the world. So when I had a pro shop, like nobody's going to buy something from the shop in Edinburgh, like no chance. And then so I was, basically COVID hit, and I was like, what am I doing? This is crazy. I've got three lovely boys, wife, and I need to see them more. And I was just like, I need to go down the coaching route. So I literally just handed in my notice as a head pro, and I was like, I'll just make this work. Literally, So
had you done any coaching prior to that? Had you been a coach?
Oh, man, yeah. No, I did thousands. Like, I mean, 70% of all my income before that was from coaching anyway.
Yeah, gotcha.
So, like the shop only gave me 30%. So I got rid of the headache, got the enjoyment, happy days.
Yeah, right. Absolutely incredible. Yeah. And tell us about the rude awakening you got, like when you first like opened your Skillest account. Like, I think the biggest challenge, and I talk about this all the time, is that you have to completely change your behavior as a golf coach, right? So what we're used to people doing, right? Golf coaches are very good at watching their diary fill up because they work at an academy or they work at a golf club and they have a captive audience. Like the player almost has no other option but to come and see you because like you're at the academy. So our diaries tend to fill up without us doing too much work. You know what I mean? Besides obviously giving incredible golf lessons, our diaries fill up. But online's not like that, is it? Like you've got to be more outbound and you've got to be able to like generate business. A lot of the time, obviously people come through Skillest once you get momentum, but like talk to us about that rude awakening, like when you first started.
And it was pretty full on. So I mean, I had like 2,500 followers on Instagram, and I was in my mind, I was like, man, I've got loads. All I need is 10% of them, and I'm gonna just be like coining it basically, and so busy. And and then so I would just posted out, like did the whole broadcast and stuff, a few posts, and it was like tumbleweed. It was like, absolutely nothing. And then I just kind of in my mind, I was like, oh, that sucks, but in a good way, because that drove me, because then I suddenly was like, actually, I need to try a different tact. And then so I started to message people. In my mind, I was like, I'll message 10 a day, my followers, and then suddenly I'll go through and then I up that for like 20 a day, 25 a day. And then got a little bit of traction and slowly, slowly just got some people, onto Skillest. And then the wild thing is that, when I obviously got onto Skillest and then suddenly I've got the entire world. And my first ever lesson was 1 mile along the road in Edinburgh. It was crazy.
That is wild.
Yeah.
And like, how long did it take you? Yeah. How long did it take you to like get that first like subscriber? Do you remember?
Well, 1 year, a whole year.
What? It took you a year to get one person.
Whole year. So he wasn't a subscriber. I think I did something like I mean, it wasn't many. It was maybe like 30 lessons, I think,
Yeah.
Before my first subscriber.
Oh, got you, right. So you'd actually been doing some lessons. Got you, right.
Yeah. No. So I've been doing some lessons, and then Blake Fuller. I'll always remember that. You know, you always remember your first, don't you?
Yeah,
So
totally.
yeah,
That's incredible.
So it's good.
But this is the thing. It takes. So you did a lot of the stuff like it's like hand-to-hand combat. At the start, isn't it? Like you've got to go person to person, right? And often in the tech world, what people talk about. I'm a tech entrepreneur now. And so like I talk about all the tech world stuff, but no longer just a PGA professional. But what we always talk about in tech is like to get momentum. What you've got to do is like the really unscalable stuff, like the things you do at the start, you mightn't do in 3 years' time, right? Because it's not feasible, it's not scalable. But to get your very like that initial momentum, you got to do the stuff that's not scalable, if that makes sense. So like the things that you probably don't even have time to do today because you're so busy, teaching all these people, and it's got its own momentum. The things that you did at the start, you don't do anymore probably because it has its own momentum and it's running, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that like what you did at the start was all of this hand-to-hand combat, one person at a time. How do I wake up every day and get one person, just one? Like what you don't want to do and what people do is like they think about where they want to be and you sort of start at the finish, if that makes sense. Like you're like, oh, I want to be 40 subscribers. How do I get 40 subscribers today? And you're like, no. Don't think about 40 subscribers or 50 or 60, whatever it is. Think about one. Like, how today are you getting that one? And it sounds like that's exactly what you did, like, to get going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so that first year, I mean, I think we spoke twice in the first year, that I joined. And I remember, like, it was like right at the very start. And I was like, yeah, brilliant. I'm gonna smash this. And then it was like, oh, I need to put, and it wasn't just about like, just persistence. It was like, no, I need to think differently. I've got to think outside the box. I've got to approach it. And then so actually, like, I loved it because it made me a better coach. And there's a lot of people around the world, don't be wrong, like there's tons of awesome people that I spoke to, which was great, who were still on Skillest as well. And then so I spoke to them and they very kindly gave their time, which was awesome. And then so I do exactly the same with other people as well. And then so that's great. And it's like if we can ever give back and help another coach, happy days. Now obviously I in my mind, I'm not gonna lie, like I always said, oh man, if I could be that person that someone spoke to or wants to hear from my story, I think I've made it. So I find it like quite nice now when someone approaches me and go, oh Iain, I see your success, how did you do it? And I'm like, man, I'll share it, absolutely.
So what are your 3 best tips for someone has literally just signed up to Skillest, right? And they're going to get this video over the next couple of days, like, because we do get, a bunch of, 5 to 6 brand new coaches sign up to Skillest every single day, right? With the hope, their vision of building, like using this, obviously the tools to coach people in person, but obviously to build a digital business. What are the 3 things you would recommend that they do?
I mean, I think right at the start is literally just try and coach your friends. Just trying to learn it. I mean, like that. You've got to make the errors first.
Yes.
Before, because no one's going to be great at the very start.
No.
It's like when you join, let's say, a golf club, and then your head pro then goes, Iain, you're going to give that person a lesson, and you're like, I don't know what to do. Type thing. And then so you need to fumble your way through a few lessons with your friends first, and then just kind of get used to the lines. And also just get used to like the app in a way. So like that just obviously familiarizes yourself. And then after that, then you need to then start to think, for me, honestly, and one of the best things possible, and like if everybody's listening, re-listen to your analysis.
Right.
Listen to it and just be like mortified at how rubbish it is. So because it's that thing of like, I remember listening to my first whatever it was, like 20, and I was just like, I don't want to buy off you. There was just there was no like pitch difference. It was just mundane, and there's no enthusiasm. And then so I kind of thought about like my days when I did internet sales. And then so I always remember the person who was there, and he said, "Smile on the phone."
Yeah, right.
Okay. Yeah, and like smile on the phone because that's how you project your voice. Stand up, chest out. If you're slouched, and all these kind of things. And then so I was kind of thinking about that and then so I started to do my analysis standing up.
Wow. Yeah. How cool.
And it just
Yeah.
got me better at it. And then I suddenly started to listen to them going, oh, this guy actually's got enthusiasm.
Yeah.
That would give me some sort of like fire to then go, oh, maybe they knows what they're doing. And then the third thing is that actually just tell people a story about, because I made the mistake as well. I remember doing all of the analysis and going X, Y, and Z. But then actually that person didn't know what I wanted to do next. So
Yeah.
whereas now I lay it out and I'm like, look, we've got these things, but for the first month, we're going to cover this and this. Some people go quicker, some people take longer. It might take 2 or 3 months. But then if we can get past this hurdle, then we're going to again progress on. So then suddenly that person's like, oh no, you've thought about me. There's a bit of a roadmap.
100%. I couldn't agree. That's a really, really good one. But what's really interesting about everything you're saying there, which sometimes maybe I do also take for granted a little bit, right? Because I mean, obviously, you know, I've been there since the inception of Skillest. And I think because of the way I used to teach as well, which was very video analysis heavy, like I've always just been that way. A lot of coaches aren't necessarily like that. A lot of coaches may be more TrackMan heavy and they don't capture as much video and they're not used to analyzing swings and like there's so much stuff there that you just described about the platform that it just takes time to get really good at actually delivering the lesson, let alone how do I even get a subscriber or how do I get a student? And when you get good at the delivery, it improves not only a student's interpretation of all the information, but it also improves retention. Obviously, you know what I mean? Sure. So people are like, they're going to hang around longer. And I think what you said there is so true at the very end there about the worst thing you can do as a coach is like just dump like a 20-minute analysis on a student, right? And just go, let me know if you've got any questions. Like that is just the worst thing possible. Like what you 100%. You want to be building something super actionable, pretty concise. Like I think someone would rather have something shorter but felt actionable. And then they need to know exactly where it's going. They need to know exactly what the next step is on the next video that's being uploaded.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I would say that for people who are starting out, that the first time that I ever meet somebody, like I'll do up to about 10 minutes for free. Yeah, genuinely. Right. You know, and then like if I'm not gonna lie, like Andy Little and I speak all the time. And then so we talk about different things. So I message him and I'm like, I've got these people who are like the free analysis. And then he tells me who he's done, and if they've signed up, I'm like, right, 5 minutes, been done. Yeah. So it's one of those moments of like that first time that you speak to somebody or that first time that you do the analysis, they need to obviously get one wowed that you know what you're doing. But then exactly as you said, like if that person gets a 10-minute every time, they're going to be bored. They're not going to be wanting to spend that long. So I honestly, after that rough point of like no more than 5, generally 3 minutes. And I mean, I literally just got one of my long-term subscribers. I was on there for like, I think it was 1 minute 20. Straight to the point. And I just said, I even said to him as well, I was like, look, I'm just going to jump on and do a video. I'm not going to explain it. It's way easier if you see it. Great.
Yeah, totally. And something that sort of along those lines as well, I sometimes get coaches who they're doing a free, evaluation analysis, or say they're in one of these flows. Like recently, we did that promotion with, the San Francisco clients where we sent some swings out.
That's awesome.
Sometimes coaches would say, "Am I just doing like an analysis, or am I doing like a proper lesson here?" And I'm like, "Do whatever it takes to turn this person into a paid user, right? Like this person is here. This isn't just someone to like, get it done and get it out of the way. It's like this person is like potentially someone that could pay you tens of thousands of dollars over the next 2 years, 3 years. We've got coaches, we've got students that have literally spent $40,000 on Skillest. You know what I mean? Like with their training.
That's so good.
So every time someone comes, you get like a little lead, whether it's a follow-up, whether it's someone DMing you and talking about, what you're doing online, whether it's, in Instagram, whether it's in Skillest, that person could potentially be worth tens of thousands of dollars to you, and you've got to treat them like that.
So on that one there, this is a great one. So this guy books in for the consult, and if you don't have a consultation on your link, you've got to whack it on. Because it's on there. Now, I mean, I don't do too many, but like if I do a consult, that person will pay for something. I can guarantee you. Like if it maybe is a 3-lesson package or a subscription, they're straight in. And then so this guy gets in contact, and he was just like, "Oh, Iain, could you do Friday?" And I was like, Oh, look, man, it's actually one of my buddies' birthdays. I'm going to be down the beach, but if you don't mind, I'll just literally just walk to the side and we can do a quick call. And he was just like, yeah, yeah, no worries, that sounds great. So then I'm literally just like beach in the background. I live 5 minutes away,
Yeah.
in Edinburgh, and he's just obviously there, just like chilled as well. And I'm just talking to him, and he's just leading the questions, and then I'm going. It seems like he's up to a bit more, and then he just said, "Yeah, so I'm really liking this. I want to sign up for a whole year." And I was just like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
We went 20 minutes, and I'm there going, what do I? In my mind, what do we do?
Totally.
And then, so this is one of those ones you just do not know that follower might one have a ton of money, which is great. Two, just be mad keen no matter what, or whatever it is, or have loads of friends. And this guy, he even said, he's like, Ian, I'm not gonna lie, I earn a ton of money. Do not give me a discount. And I'm like,
Wow.
honestly, I genuinely thought like it was you guys maybe like trying to get me or something like that. I was just like, am I being absolutely done over here? But no, he signed up straight away, and it was just like, wow, this is crazy.
That's awesome. And that's what you've got to. That's why you got to think about everyone, because, like, especially at the start, as you said, one person isn't just one person. What Skillest is, the cool thing about Skillest, it's got this thing called over-the-shoulder virality, right? Now, what that means is that
no idea what that is.
what it is, it's kind of like the Snapchat effect, right? Where Snapchat got really big because people wanted to show their friends how to use all the tools, right? So they would get their phone out and they'd actually show their friends. Now, Skillest, because of like the analysis and like the AI summaries and like all of the, the in-depth sort of nature of the lesson, and because it's captured on your phone, you know what that guy's doing? He's showing his mates. Like, he's like, have a look at this. I'm learning from this legend in Edinburgh, right? Who's like, just fix my golf swing. Look at the detail he's gone in. And they're showing their friends before they even go and play. Or sometimes they're watching their analysis at the driving range, or they're watching their analysis at the golf course, and people are like over their shoulder going, what's that sort of thing, right? So one person turns to two to three to four. And the challenge is always that first person, right? And you've got to, getting back to what we talked about, is like hand-to-hand combat. Do the stuff that's not scalable at the start. Understand the tools. Give yourself time. Be patient, and all of it can come.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. When you think about, I mean, just wind back a little bit, and you mentioned about the first subscriber, but you always said like you get the first one, then it snowballs.
Yeah.
And I always remember that. One became 5 within 1 month, and I was like, well, hang on, I spent a whole year for one. In my mind, I was like, I'm going to grind this. But now, like, I get pockets around the world, and so Pakistan now is becoming a country where I teach quite a few people from.
That's wild. How good is that? What a platform!
It's honestly, honestly, it's so cool. So like, I mean, actually, you don't even know this, but like, there's the manager of the Pakistan Federation. So he actually has said, because I teach a couple of kids plus some adults there. The father of one of the kids, who's a long-term subscriber, basically has said, could you speak to the manager of the Pakistan Golf Federation? And then the manager then has said, oh, look, I'd like you to teach our juniors. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
And then so it's their conversation. So then, like, for instance, I've spoken to Andy, and then to Whip now, and other people, and then it's that moment they're going, I have to bring a team together to then potentially do this. So I've pitched it, and I'm waiting to hear back. So then it's like the power of Skillest is just insane.
That is so cool. How good is that? That's great, mate. And it all comes, from that first subscriber, second subscriber, and 100%. That is just the coolest story ever. I'm going to take that back to the team and let them know about that. That is really, really cool.
Honestly, it is wild, yeah.
Mate, we better wrap this up. We've been speaking for an hour and a half or something already. So we could probably keep going for the next couple. What would you leave everyone with? What's the last thing you would say to coaches that maybe have been on Skillest for a while and they've even maybe flatlined just a little bit? I mean, obviously this is the off season, so it is a little bit tougher to grow at this time of year. But what would you say to brand new coaches as well on the platform?
Yeah, I mean, like to brand new coaches, for me, I mean, as we sort of said at the very start, just don't give up. I mean, like so for a whole year, I earned £180, which I know it sounds crazy. I know that.
And the one
It's
thing I
wild.
would say to everyone is that this is probably 5 years ago as well,
Oh,
isn't it?
it's ages ago.
Yeah,
Ages ago.
yeah. Like this is like things have
Yeah.
evolved and things do move faster than that. I just want
Well,
everyone to know.
no. I mean, I said no, but in a good way. Like, so, like before, there's all these like new coaches, the trending coaches. That didn't exist. It literally
Yeah,
was like 1 to 5,000 or whatever it
yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
remember I got bored. I was scrolling for ages and couldn't find myself. So, but
yeah.
the point of me saying that is that like now, like I cap the subscribers that I've got because I'm full. You know, and then so like that's cool, isn't it? A nice situation to be in.
Mm,
So like I take off the subscription and I've got like my amount that I've got, and then when someone leaves, I've got like a waiting list, and then I
wow.
message them, and then they sign up, which is pretty cool. So and then
Mm,
actually the people who are let's say who are already in the system and they've done maybe even 1,000 lessons are huge.
mm,
You know, actually go to the subscribers or go to the people who you've already given lessons to,
yeah,
and then talk about a referral system.
yeah. Great.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, so powerful. Like it's wild. Like when I've got someone in Australia whose buddies then signed up, who've got someone in the States, someone in BC in Canada, someone in Pakistan, someone in Japan, and I'm like, their buddies have signed up in those pockets around the world, which I've
Wow.
talked about, and I'm sure there's more.
Yeah,
And it's just like that thing of going, I've gained people from doing a good job, and honestly, the best thing that let's say to finish with is just be really personable, like a buddy in a way.
mm,
Like don't want to be over familiar, but everybody enjoys it because I'm not transactional.
yeah,
It's not like, right, you've signed up for one lesson, that is it. Like if
mm,
somebody's struggling, I'll be like, no, just send me the swings, let me check it out. You've obviously maybe done something wrong or whatever it is.
mm,
So then they go, oh, you actually care, and they sign up and spend more money, and subscribers stay on. I mean, my subscriber churn's like heavily reduced down because I believe of like I'm providing a more
yeah.
personable experience as well.
That's awesome. That's the thing. Students want someone that cares. That's what they want. Like
Yeah.
obviously they want your knowledge and they want to get better and they want, all those things, but they just want someone who cares. And obviously you do, mate. And it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the platform. It's been great to
Appreciate
be
it.
part of the journey and see you
Yeah.
like completely change your life now and be able to do, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like, literally you can do whatever you want. So it's been really cool.
Yeah. I mean, like we were talking before, but when we move house, when my wife is fully qualified, like I'm going to build a sim. We're going to move house literally for Skillest with the online coaching. And actually build a simulator in the garden, which would be crazy.
Super exciting. Awesome, mate. Well, Iain, thank you so much for your time. And obviously all the team out there, girls, guys, I'm sure like you'd be happy to answer any questions if someone did a coach out there to end you or something. So thanks for being part of the community, mate.
Take care. Nice one. Cheers, everyone.